Well, I guess back to the drawing board. What are you supposed to do? Of all the stupid mother... Why? It was a simple plan, but kind of had some issues with the engine, so this is going to change a little bit. Actually, doesn't change anything. We're just changing what's going to happen with the engine. I'm going to update you on that here, and also going to talk about what's been going on in the 2 months since I have actually recorded any video here. Just been working and trying to learn how to do this stuff with the video recording and the editing. Also been working on some engine building stuff to make sure that when I put the engine together, it goes together right. But mainly, I started out working on welding and then had a little mishap with that. Actually, I was welding and happy welding, and one day I come in here and started welding. I wasn't thinking far enough ahead and gave myself welding fume. Well, I don't know what it's called. Poison. It's not poisoning. It's just fumigation. I don't know. I made myself sick either way. Spent a couple of weeks recovering from that, from nausea and things like that, and intestinal or stomach problems, is what I'm going to say. So I got over that, and because I had been sick and it's cold season, then I ended up with a cold right away because my immune system was down. I'm an asthmatic and I have chronic bronchitis, so a cold turns into bronchitis. So literally I've been sick for about a month. And yeah, there are days that you can do stuff like that, but with my lungs the way they are, when I start to get colds and bronchitis, I don't do a lot because I want to make sure that I'm healthy. It kind of limits me at times, but this was my fault to begin with because of the welding mishap with the fumes. I just didn't have enough ventilation like I should have that day. I have now thought out a new plan and made myself some things that'll help out along the way. I'm going to use my shop vac to alleviate fumes from the area where I'm welding. I also got myself a mask because I don't want to do this again. That was horrible. I don't wish it upon anybody. This is one of those instances where I completely screwed myself up. I'm happy I didn't film it, but this is like what I said before in my trailer that I always had, where it says I'm not an expert and don't just do what I'm doing. You need to go consult people. Well, this is one of those instances where I should have consulted somebody a little bit better, and I paid for it. So, but now I'm better. I'm going to work on the car some more. We haven't done anything. I am going to start by getting rid of the air box right here. And on the outside, I'm also going to start taking apart the stuff on the inside and cleaning out the interior because there's still some interior things in there that needs to come out. I'm going to work on the driver's side door. The hinge on the bottom is messed up, so it needs to be repinned, or I need to get a different hinge. I don't know how this is going to work, but we'll get it figured out. I don't know if I'm going to do the same like I had been doing. My videos may get a little shorter from this point on, unless we're going to do a whole bunch at one time. Like Trip videos will probably stay the same amount of length or just be longer. This stuff working on the car right now, I'm going to do a lot of update stuff. Maybe I'll do 2 videos a week instead of 1, but make them 5 minutes long. We'll see what happens. There's a new plan in place for some of that stuff, just to try and make it a little bit easier on me with the editing and going through all the film. So, the engine itself, it apparently, when it spun that bearing, the machinist tells me it got hot and it warped the block in that area. That's why the lifter that was stuck in there did what it did. I thought it was mushroomed out, like it had been smacked on both sides. He said that wasn't it. It had been heated up and then misformed. So when he got it out of there, the lifter journal was all screwed up because it had gone back and forth in there. Not much we can do about that. He advised not to use it, considering that this is going to be in a car that's meant for drag and drive events. So, I'm just saying that he thought it would be better, because he thought at this point too that he thought it needed to be a line board out for the cam and possibly even the lower end. It is what it is right now. We're looking at a couple different options. I don't have the block back yet. When I get the block back, I'll show what happened. I need to get that done. He is looking at the heads right now. Well, I actually don't know what he's doing right now, but that's his next job for us. We'll be looking at the heads to make sure that we can still use those. I also took the crank over to him because now I'm just trying to save a little bit of money. So I'm going to look at using that crank, and I'm going to use the rods here. I've been looking at different options. I actually considered for a little while to just buy a whole engine just so I could just put it in, because now I'll have a test fitting block, this 6-liter that's unusable for us right now. I'll have this be able to make it so that it can go in, and then we can build our accessory bracket off of that with that engine block, and then really be able to kind of make things a little bit faster. So we can have 2 things going on. I can be building the engine and working on it in here or whatever. I don't have to have both. The engine doesn't have to be here for me to be able to fit it in the car anymore. But the frame needs to get done. So I'm going to actually go pick up the engine block Monday. It's a Saturday now. Was it Saturday the 14th? I think it's the 14th of January. I'm going to pick. I don't have to work on Monday because it's Martin Luther King Day and I drive school bus. So I'm going to go and get the engine block and get it back in here and maybe start the process of test fitting the engine. I have new springs for the car. I considered putting the springs in front and back before I test fit the engine, even though the whole front end's going to come apart, and I'm going to replace all the ball joints and bushings just because I think that's the safest thing. They're all 30 years old, or most of them are 30 years old. Only thing we've ever replaced on here are the tie rods, or tie rod ends. So, they need to be done. But that's the next steps. We're just going to start getting the body ready to test fit and the frame ready to test fit. Once we have a test fit in and I can figure out what we're going to do with these motor mounts, I'm going to pull it all back out and then rip the front end apart, clean up the frame, get those pieces welded in there, hopefully without hurting myself this time. And then start to test fit the engine again to be able to make the accessory brackets. I will update you when we find out I'm really just waiting on knowing what we can do with the crank and heads, if we can use them or not. and then I will let everybody know, because that'll determine my decision on what I'm going to do with the engine block, or what I'm going to do for an engine block. I still would like to build an engine, because I want to build it to our specifications to make sure that it works properly. Sorry for rambling a little bit here. I hope that you have a good Saturday. I'm going to release this here a little bit later this afternoon or this evening. Anyway, have a good Saturday, and thanks for watching. Do you mind pushing the like button if you're enjoying what you're watching? If you want to see more, you can subscribe and adjust your notifications. We'll let you know when we post another video. You can also leave a comment, and I will do my best to get back at you and answer any questions that you may have about the channel or the build or anything like that. Have a good day. All right, thanks for watching.